Hello everyone, my name is Patience Noah and I am your insurance interpreter, and welcome to Insurance Talk, where we're providing consumers with knowledge to make informed decisions about their personal insurance needs. Again, my goal for this show is to bring industry experts who will educate you about the industry, provide you general knowledge of insurance, and inform you of current trends within the industry so that you can be proactive with your insurance policies and maximize your coverages. Our guest interpreter today is none other than Mr. Jeffery Dressler. Mr. Dressler is a personal injury attorney at Dressler Law in Hartford, Connecticut. He has over 15 years of experience practicing law, and he is very active in the community promoting education in the inner city of Hartford. I'll have him tell us a little bit more about himself later, but if you want to read more about Mr. Dressler, you can visit our website at the link below. An insurance claims process can be very difficult, especially when there's injury involved that could put you out of work for weeks, sometimes months, which could potentially cause you to lose your wages, emotional distress, or even leaves you paralyzed. Mr. Dressler has represented numerous of clients that have been injured in auto accidents, motorcycle accidents, medical malpractice, and many more. And today, he's here to give us some knowledge on what to do if you ever find yourself in an accident that may require a lawyer. Hello everyone, my name is Patience Noah and I am your insurance interpreter, and welcome to Insurance Talk, where we're providing consumers with knowledge to make informed decisions about their personal insurance needs. Have you ever read your insurance policies and wondered what on earth you were reading? Or how about this one? Have you ever called your insurance agent or your insurance provider and hung up out of frustration because you simply couldn't understand insurance language? That's right. Insurance has its own language, and the truth is, not everybody understands it. Just like you, before I became an insurance professional, I struggled with reading my policies and understanding the coverages that were being provided to me. Join me as we dissect the insurance language and the industry as a whole to help you ask the right questions you need when purchasing your personal insurance products. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and leave me a comment about topics you would like to see on the show. It's about time we break the barrier between policyholders and insurance providers.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Hello everyone, I'm sitting here with Mr. Dressler, and I'm just going to let him tell us a little bit about himself and what he does. And Mr. Dressler, how did you find yourself in in personal injury law actually?
Life is a series of phases. I started out in the federal prosecutor's office in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And when I came up, I was doing workers' comp, family, criminal work, and civil work.
Okay.
But I had a couple cases in criminal law that affected me.
Got it.
A criminal defense attorney's job is to do a real good job, which I did. And I had an interesting story. As a matter of fact, I am trying to write a script about it, a book. I dedicated myself to the civil side.
Okay.
So personal injury and medical malpractice, and that's what I've been doing for many, many years.
Wow, and in addition to that, you're actually very involved in the community, promoting education in the inner cities of Hartford. So tell us a little bit about that and what got you into that or inspired you to do that?
I am a blessed man.
Yeah.
My life is full and I live it with purpose. When I studied law in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
When I came up, I had been practicing martial arts. And what I did was I partnered with a couple other black belts, and we started teaching in the schools, giving kids some after-school activities. I bought a radio station and started getting more involved in the community. And what I did was I had partnered with some schools with respect to some problematic kids.
Okay.
And we had a program that at the end of the year, We had great grades and great behavior and parent participation, and that was the start of Meg Education. So, and this is our 28th year.
Oh, wow.
And as a martial artist, I started training with some kickboxers on Main Street. And we started to fund the San Juan Center sports at that time.
Okay.
And we built a gym. And we just built a second gym. And I'm on the state boxing commission.
Wow.
My emphasis is the amateurs, is USA Boxing. We handle pro and MMA now. But boxing has done an awful lot for a lot of students.
Okay.
And the theme is gloves, not guns. It's anti-violence.
Nice.
The new gym has a education center, computer center.
Okay.
We have a partnership with the students from Trinity College who tutor the kids. And we do tracking, so it's had a lot of success. From one of the gyms, we had one of the boxers that's completed a law school. We've had firefighters and police officers, people who go into the armed forces. We've lost a couple kids, it happens, but we've saved so many. So it's been a lot of fun. Men never grow up. So, and I do ring announcing. I do ring announcing, and we did a show at Mohegan Sun for USA Boxing. They had the directors from all over the country, and here are these kids. Some of them are 10 years old. And they're in this ballroom in Mohegan Sun, and they're competing for USA Boxing. It was quite an experience for these kids.
Wow, that's amazing. Now let's get into the law aspect, which is exactly what you do.
Let's do it.
And actually, one of the questions that I had was, every year there are countless cases, people that are suing the insurance companies for either claims.
Only because they deserve it.
For claims that are not paid and things like that. And what I really want to know is how many of these cases actually make it to court or even to trial?
Well, what happens with the insurance companies, there's been different periods where it's been easier to deal with the insurance companies. During the 80s, it was easy. In 1990, they woke up one day and said, well, wait a minute, what are we paying this money for? Let them take us to court. And then every 10 years, it seemed to have gotten more difficult. Even now, on clear-cut cases, they take an untenable stand, and they make us jump through all the hoops and file suit because they're not, and particularly there are different insurance companies. Some are worse than others. A couple of them that we know when we see that name, we just file suit because we have to go through. So it's not that lawyers, I'd love to stay in the office and drink coffee and grab the phone and ask for a check.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Right. Okay. All right, and actually, in regards to auto accidents, once you get involved in an auto accident, there are some companies that would recommend that you either visit their physician, their recommended physician, or doctors. And my question is, would you recommend, the consumers to visit a doctor that is,
there's a difference between workers' comp and the personal injury for car accident. Workers' comp can usually the companies have their own network of doctors, and those are the ones that treat the workers. Okay. Not so in the civil side for car accidents.
Got it.
The insurance companies usually do not recommend you to a doctor. They try to get your statement first. They try to have you sign releases or for information, etc. The public should know that the insurance companies exist for one purpose, and that is to make a profit. Right. They have wonderful commercials. We're on your side. You're in good hands, etc., etc. But their job is make as much profit as possible. What they do not pay out in claims is profit. So I know that insurance, a lot of clients have tried to handle this on their own, and they come to an impasse, or they get a letter that's worded ambiguously that they interpret that, hey, they're trying to help us, and they're not. And then when they pull back, a lot of times they've prejudiced the case. They've given damaging statements, or there's a gap in treatment, and they were waiting for one thing or another. And it's unfortunate, but the insurance companies, that's that's their modus operandi.
Got it. And actually, on that note, one of the things that that I've come to notice is, if there is an injury, for example, would you say that it's okay for the party that is injured to try to settle with the insurance company first, and then if something goes wrong, they can contact a lawyer? Would you?
Well, if they want to screw the case up, and that's just it. They're not lawyers,
Right.
and they're up against people who do this day in and day out.
Right.
And again, I can only reiterate that the insurance companies exist to make a profit. So I ask my clients if they want to give you a lot of money or very little.
Right.
And they will do everything they can to weaken the case for the plaintiff.
Right.
There's been class action suits against the insurance companies. In Connecticut, if a plaintiff signs a release within 14 days, a lawyer can have it nullified and proceed with the case. But there's been a couple of class action suits against the insurance companies that have been rushing to get the clients to sign and close out the case, where people, after they sign, realize that they have a problem.
Okay.
They have a meniscus tear. They start to get problems in their back and realize they have a herniated disc or a bulging annulus or something. So, and they've signed away their rights.
Got it.
So contact a lawyer. Get the medical treatment first that you need.
Right.
And it's not like, well,
Got
gee,
it.
I'm going to go see my lawyer. No.
Right.
If you need medical treatment, the most important thing is your health.
Got it.
And we're not talking about the case. We're talking about someone's health.
Got it.
So that's the first thing that you should do.
I mean, I always get people that tell me all the time, every little thing, I'm going to contact my lawyer. But basically what you're saying in this case, unless it gets to a severe level, like if you're in an accident and you're hurt very badly, that's when you want to get a lawyer involved.
Wrong.
Okay.
Call 24/7-1122, 860-24/7-1122. No, after you get in an accident, I'm saying if you need to go to the hospital right then, go to the hospital.
Okay.
If you need immediate medical treatment, get that treatment.
Okay.
And once you do, call an attorney. Because you may have a housewife or a single mother, had 3 children. She works out of town.
Right.
She's one paycheck between her and the street. And the employer is not responsible for the accident. And if she doesn't make it up there, she loses her job. So what does she do if that car is towed to a garage? It's accumulating storage. She needs a rental, and she doesn't have one on her own policy.
Right.
If it's on the state highways now, it takes 3 weeks to get the police report. The insurance companies aren't going to do anything until they get it. So they need help, and they should call an attorney immediately.
Okay. So on that note,
Preferably me.
of course. So on that note, if someone is involved in a situation like that, would you recommend they get the opinion of several law firms before they decide who should represent them?
Tell you what, start now, look at the law firms just in case you need one.
Okay.
Because if you start doing that, I've had people come to my office, well, I just want to talk to a few people. And okay, fine, great. You're wasting time.
Got it.
Attorney's fees are the same. They're taken right out of the statute, and it's the same attorney's fees. What you want to look for is a firm with experience. Our firm does nothing but personal injury. We have 9 litigating lawyers. We have about 35 to 40 people, I'm not sure how many, on staff. I don't handle the HR. And this is what we do. If you need a divorce, I'm going to refer you to someone. You need a will, I'm going to refer you to a colleague who does that. Or real estate. I mean, people go to their real estate lawyer if they have an accident. The real estate lawyer is good in real estate.
Right.
All right. We may hire, for example, we have a large case for a minor. We hire a firm that does trusts or special need trusts. It's a specialty, and there's a few firms that do that in the state. So we have to protect the money from the parents, from the child itself. When he or she reaches 18, instead of throwing a big party, they're going to have money for college. They're going to have money for necessities. And if it's intelligently invested, that money will continue to come in. So we plan for maybe a payment for the first year of college, second year of college. But I'm saying that, we may hire specialists, we do, that are investment specialists that help us with that and the planning for these estates that we have to manage for children who have been injured when they were little.
Got it. And actually, I've heard of cases that have taken at least 5 years to settle or more. So my question is, what are some of the methods that you use within your firm to help maybe push those cases forward, and to get it settled or to court, to have that the case trialed?
How long does it take for a hard-boiled egg to do you know? Was it 3 minutes, 5 minutes? All right. Well, you can't take it out after a minute. All right, that's it. You can't make the water hotter. Right. It's going to take what it takes.
Okay.
Now, first of all, you can't really do anything before the person reaches medical maximum improvement. You might file suit ahead of time, but every case merits its own considerations. Okay. And there's no advantage for the lawyer to delay.
Got it.
There is not. More time that they invest in this file, the less they're getting out of it. There may be issues. We had a case that, for example, against the city, that they always claim immunity. And that issue, because they always claim immunity, but this particular issue had to go to the Supreme Court to be decided just to see if we had the right to sue. So that's going to delay it a year and a half. Right? Once we got their permission, we proceeded. So it took a while. It took a number of years. But we did a fantastic job for this young lady. Okay. So every case is different.
Every case is different. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do.
And the insurance companies have dilatory tactics. You may file suit. They don't answer. They don't appear. All right. We move it along, file for a motion for default. That means they didn't show. Give us the award. Okay, here you go. Last second. We're here. All right. Now the pleadings, and they don't answer. Okay. We file another motion for default, so we win at the last second. Here you go. Got it. All right. You get depositions that get canceled, and we want to move it as fast as we can. And the insurance companies really don't have that incentive. They're holding on to the money. They have the money invested. Right. So the longer they hold on to it, actually it's the less money they're paying out, because they have those investments that have rendered interest, dividends, which they utilize.
Okay, that's good to know. And what would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions out there when it comes to lawyers and dealing with the insurance companies?
Well, there's a lot. You'd have to be.
Let's choose one for the purpose.
I don't know.
For the purpose
the
of
biggest
this
one
show.
for misconceptions.
Yeah.
Believing what they say on the TV.
Okay.
They say, what's in your policy, and we handle this. And what I get is, for example, I know that, and we're investigating class action suits for some of these things. There's a policy that the insurance companies have, and they nickel and dime you. Your vehicle gets hit from the rear. All right, they destroy the bumper. Replace the bumper. No, you had a little scuff over here from before, so the bumper's worth less.
Existing damage.
Exactly. Well, they're going to nickel and dime you for $50, $100, and they do that across the country. It turns into hundreds of millions. Or, left turn. Well, you should have avoided it. She turned into me. So now I've got that single mom with 3 kids that has no car. And you have to tell, listen, they're offering less. I'll file suit and we'll bring this forward. Or it's pragmatic. Do you need the money to get a car? That's unfair to that lady.
Right.
And you can file a complaint with the insurance commissioner, but there's no bite in the what the insurance. She can only, or he can only recommend. Right. Well, we want you to reevaluate that. I have a letter. The insurance company said, no, we did. We're not changing. All right. So unless you've got teeth, and what happens is the insurance companies, the system is pay to play. They're giving to different campaigns, and the people. You've heard of the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Right. He who has the gold makes the rule. So a lot of the laws that are passed are because of the influence in the insurance companies, and they try every single year to chip away at the rights of the average citizen. I'll give you a couple examples. They want to put a cap on pain and suffering for medical malpractice.
Okay.
So if your doctor puts you in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, they want to put a cap at $250,000.
Right.
Is it worth it to you not to walk for the rest of your life? And they'll give you no, I don't think so.
No.
Right. So what they're doing in effect is they're trying to eliminate the medical malpractice because lawyers won't be able to take it. It costs a minimum of $50,000, $80,000 to try a case.
Wow.
So it does. You have to pay all the experts. They charge for depositions. You might have to do a whole team. It adds up. Deposition. You want to talk to the doctor the night before? Here's $1,000. Half a day a deposition, $4,000. Full day, $8,000 to $10,000. You want to bring them to court? Maybe 10 to 15 on the table a month before the trial. Multiply that times a team.
Okay.
So if you suffer these catastrophic injuries, or what about birthing injuries, where a child is deprived of oxygen and suffers cerebral palsy, and this is a life sentence for the parent,
right.
for the family. How can you calculate? It's incalculable. I'll give you another example. Insurance for automobiles. They're trying to, in Puerto Rico, uninsured motorist is elective. No, it doesn't exist.
Really?
They don't even know what it is. Liability is elective. In Connecticut, the three compulsory insurances are liability, that covers what you harm, what you kill, property, other people's property that you damage, and uninsured motorist, which covers you and any family member that lives with you. So I'm handling a case from Puerto Rico where a car ran into a horse and the rider fell and got hurt. Well, it was an uninsured vehicle. I'm handling a case here in Connecticut because it follows you in the car, out of the car. It follows you on a bicycle, on rollerblades, riding a horse. If you're in a train and it hits a vehicle on the, which happened in Pennsylvania, and the train derailed, and you have 8 people that died and hundreds that got hurt, everyone on the train can come home and make a claim on their own policy or the auto policy of any family member.
Right.
That's why they invented Jeffery Dressler. So what were the insurance companies trying to do? Make it elective. That means, hey, you're going to save $150 a year, which people grab at.
Right.
But when you get hurt, where are they going to turn to for help? So we used to have no fault, which would take care of the meds.
Right.
They did away with that. So they try to chip away.
And
nice insurance companies, huh?
No, and this is, with me working for an insurance company, if someone
I still like you.
if someone does come to work with me, or if I am, if one of my clients, I always tell them to take a look at their policies and make sure that they're getting the right coverages that they need. Because you do have some clients out there that are like, oh, I might not need this, or this is not necessary. I always tell them, you never know when you might need it.
I have a flat screen in my conference room. So when my clients come in, I show them exactly what I'm doing. I pull up the documents. They see what I've been working on. I pull up an example of a declarations page, and I go through each one. And I said, here's what you need.
Right.
And did your insurance company explain that to you? No. I do. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm Jeffery Dressler. and it's very important, and it protects them. And I've had people that have purchased that coverage. I'll give you an example. My son is in law school in Puerto Rico. They don't have any uninsured motorists. So he has liability to cover if he were to cause an injury to someone. But if someone causes an injury to him, I said, Tavi, you're residing there. You're domiciled here. And I have him as an insured on my policy. So if he is injured by an uninsured motorist, we'll make the claim here.
I see.
It's nice having a dad as a lawyer. Well, he's a lawyer. He knows that.
He knows what to do. Okay, all right. So
I'm having fun.
So one of the questions that I have, my last question is...
Oh, no, please. I'm having
My last question is, basically, what would you say... I mean, there are some cases that, when you're dealing with... Initially, it seems like, okay, well, this is going to be a breeze. And then it becomes something complex. So do you have an example of a case that...
Yes. The most difficult cases you will ever have as a lawyer is doing a favor for a friend. It never fails. It turns into a morass of complications.
I see.
Honest to goodness. It never fails.
Okay.
You know, can you just do this? Yeah, fine, we'll handle it. And it just turns into something of biblical proportions.
So do you have a case in mind that when the person walked in, you were probably like, oh, this would be a small settlement or something. But then as you kept on working on the case, it turned out to be something that ended up in a really big settlement?
It does. It's because of the injuries. And I tell people, and what happens is, for example, people get in an accident and they may not feel anything, and all of a sudden they get a burning sensation afterwards.
Right.
And now they start to get tingling come in their arms. They had a herniated disc. And slowly but surely, you have 3 nerves come out of your neck, pass through your shoulder blade, out your armpit, and all the way down your fingertips. Well, as that oozes out, it puts pressure on those nerves.
Okay.
And you lose the control of your hand and your arm. So they have to do a disectomy. Sometimes it's a fusion. And as that happens, obviously the value of the case is augmented. Right. Now, you have to have the insurance to cover it. I've had people that have got catastrophic injuries, and it's a hit and run. Wow. Now, they don't live with anyone who owns an insured vehicle. Right. Some of the modern policies, mine covers domestic partners. I see. So that means you have a man and woman living together as man and woman. That'll cover that, but not all the policies have that. Right. And no one reads their policy.
Nobody does.
You know, who wants to read that, really?
People don't want to read their policy.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, that is why we're doing insurance.
This is why they invented Jeffery Dressler.
So we can, so people can get to know more about, insurance and to be proactive, because I have come to realize that a lot of people are not proactive with their insurance.
But the consumer depends on you.
Right.
They come into your office and they're hoping, because you're going to tell them you're pretty, you're articulate, you have the whole package, and this is what you need. Okay, great. The insurance ads on TV, they talk about price.
Right.
That's it.
Price. Right.
We're going to save you. Right. You know why they save you 15%? Because they got rid of their agents. You can do it direct. That's what the agents were making.
Right.
Bang. So who'd you buy the insurance from? Who gave you the advice? What did they ask you? Right. How many kids do you have? Where's your work? All right, do you have any health? They didn't ask you any of that.
What do you do for fun? What are your hobbies?
Exactly.
Things like that,
so they don't give them that advice. Right. And people come to my office, they invest their trust in me as an attorney. And it's my job to give them that advice. So, and I go through a policy with every single client.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining me. It was a pleasure having you.
Have me back.
No, seriously.
This is fun.
I plan to have you back, so I hope you can come back. And,
I'm here.
We can talk more and try to help more people out there.
I was born for this stuff.
I think a lot of people could use this information out there, so thank you for joining us.
All right. If you want to call me, 860-247-1122, or on the web, DresslerLaw.com.
Thank you for joining us. This is my least favorite part of the show, when I have to say goodbye. But seriously, how informative was Mr. Dressler? If you're watching and you currently have a case in court or waiting for a settlement, I hope you can apply what you've learned today to your situation. If you're saying to yourself, how come she only has Connecticut people on her show? Is this a Connecticut show? Well, it's not. If you know anyone within the insurance industry that you think will be a great guest on the show, just share the link with them and ask them to reply through the website. And encourage them to come and be a part of the show and share their knowledge with us. Once again, keep in mind that insurance varies from state to state. If you have any specific questions, I encourage you to contact your local agent or your insurance provider, or you can even reach out to your state insurance department and they will be happy to answer your questions. Don't forget that we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Subscribe to us and make sure you share the video with your friends. See you next time.